Hi, welcome back to Bride Society. I'm Laura and this is Rebecca. So we are here today with a Wedding 101 update. So by Wedding 101 we mean basically what are the bare basics you need to know to get legally married as a UK citizen in England or Wales. Like the absolute bare basics. So not the frills, all the singing, dancing, extra things. It's like what is actually at the core of it that you need to go from not married to legally married. So some of you might remember or have found on our channel, we have done this video before, but it was back in 2018, and obviously we are much further along than that now, and there's been some changes, so we wanted to do an updated version for you. And so all that said, obviously what we're saying now is only correct as of the time of filming, and we've done our best to make sure it's as accurate as possible to the best of our knowledge. But obviously please do check the UK government website for the latest and most up-to-date information, and we'll put a link to that in our description box below. Okay, so a couple of things that haven't changed and are still the same. So in order to get married, you need to be free to marry legally, so not already married to somebody else. You need to be over 18 or over 16 with consent from a parent, and you still need to have 2 witnesses to witness the marriage.
You do.
Yeah.
You now need 29 days to give what we call give notice before your wedding ceremony. So by give notice, if you don't know what that means, it's basically where you both go and sign a legal document at your local registry office that says you intend to get married, that you're both free to get married, or form a civil partnership. The only thing is that you need to know, in order to do this, you already need to know where your wedding ceremony is going to be. So in terms of sort of ordering in which you're trying to arrange that, just bear in mind you already need to have finalised your ceremony venue.
And then once you've given notice, you only have, I say only, you must marry within 12 months of giving notice. So if you then it's delayed or postponed, you'll have to give notice again, unfortunately.
And you have to live in your registration district for at least 7 days prior to giving notice. So each area has its own registry office, and that's what we mean by registration district. If you and your partner currently live in different districts, you will have to go and give notice separately in your own registration district. If you're not sure which district you're in, you can go on the government website and type in your postcode, and it will tell you which your local registry office is. And we'll put a link to that in the description box below to help you out as well.
So the process of giving notice might be different for Anglican weddings. So you need to check with your venue about what, if any steps you need to take, if they're any different for those.
Yeah. So if you're having a religious ceremony, you can basically have that in any registered religious building. So it doesn't have to be inside a church, it can just be any registered religious building.
Okay, and involved in that ceremony will be an authorised person, i.e. a religious minister, and the person must attend the ceremony, and they'll be the one to sign the marriage schedule or marriage document. But if you have any questions about this or not quite sure who will be the person for wherever you're intending to get married, just check with the venue and they'll be able to help you.
Yeah. Now, if you're a same-sex couple, as it currently stands, you still cannot get married in an Anglican church, but you can get married in a registered religious building if it has been registered specifically for the marriage of same-sex couples. So again, that's just something to check out with the individual venues that you're looking at.
So now we're going to talk a bit about civil ceremonies, so non-religious based ceremonies. So there are a couple of different locations you can have your civil ceremony. So either at a registry office
or at a venue approved by your local council where the registrars would go to the venue to conduct the ceremony. Unfortunately, in England and Wales, you can't just get married anywhere.
It's not like the movies.
No.
Yes, and as I said, the registrar must carry out or be present at that ceremony.
So during the ceremony, there are a few things that are must-dos in order to be legally married, and one of those is to exchange vows. Now, there is some scope to adjust the wording of the vows, and your registry office will be able to advise you on what is permissible, unless you're having a civil partnership, and then the vows are optional.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You can, I should say, you can still say your own vows as well if you want to write your own. It's just there are some key lines that have to legally be in there. So just bear that in mind. So in this civil ceremony, you can still have readings, songs, music, but it can't be anything religious. Like, you just can't mention a single word to do with religion. It's just not allowed in the room. But if you're you're in a situation where maybe one of you's religious, one's not, so you're trying to strike a balance, what you can do is, after your civil ceremony has ended, you can then have a religious person there to come and bless the ceremony, so you can kind of get a bit of both worlds and do that afterwards. It just has to have that separation.
So once your ceremony is finished, you will both sign the marriage schedule or marriage document. And then one of the biggest changes that has happened in recent years is now the inclusion of up to 4 parents on the form. So you can now include your mum, which is a new thing, but that you can also include step parents on the form. So each of you have up to 4 spaces to fill on your marriage schedule.
Yeah, if you sat there wondering, like, well, what on earth was it before? This is great. Of course it should be that way. Yeah. Before, it was just that the fathers on each side were on it.
Yeah.
So them and their occupations is all that was on it. So, yeah. So it's now much more inclusive and gender fair. And then after the ceremony, so again, because this has all changed, so when that's done, you finish, your document that you've signed during the ceremony will get sent to your registrar office and I think uploaded and onto the official registry, and then you'll get sent your marriage certificate by mail, which is a big difference because you used to just walk away with it straight from the ceremony. So that's really changed.
So now handy if you haven't got a bag or something, because you're given this certificate on your wedding day, and it's like, where do I put it? So now it just gets sent to your house.
Yes. So that's kind of a summary of the key changes. As I say, it does only apply in England and Wales and to British citizens. So there are slightly different things that you have to do if you're say, not a British citizen, etc., etc. So do bear that in mind. Check the government website, as we said before. Those links are down below. But yeah, we hope you found that helpful. Good luck with planning your wedding. Please like the video if you did and hit subscribe for lots more content.